So, why is visual art so important when we are telling a Bible story? I remember the first person to give me permission to use art to help me with my story recall. I was at a training with Bible Telling International, John Walsh's Ministries, and he gave us permission to actually draw stick figures to help us create divisions for our story recall. And for me, it was like it ignited a fire inside me and it awakened something so that I was able to recall more content than I ever thought was possible. I have absolutely loved helping students engage with the visual form of art or symbol or murals, whatever capacity of a visual element that they could use to help them with their story recall. One time I was watching a video that Tim Mackey had created, and he was referencing J.R. Tolkien's writing about imagination with fairies. And he was talking about how Tolkien talked about art within literature, the literature element of writing a story, that it would awaken the imagination in people and help them to escape reality. But Mackey went on to say, he said, good art, it actually will awaken so that wonder and awe takes place. Now, for most of us, we will never be the person who creates a mural that is a masterpiece or a painting that is a masterpiece, like the painting of the prodigal that I absolutely love. If you haven't read the book by Henri Nouwen and The Prodigal Son, examining the painting of Rembrandt and the prodigal son, you should do it, because he shows how art can awaken the imagination and help us discover truths from God that we just did not even know had been dormant in us. That's the gift that art gives. Now, when I would use art in my classroom, I would have students that for the very first time, they would actually be able to recall a story. I can remember moments where I would have students crying in the struggle of trying to do a story recall, but the moment they were given permission to use art, I watched them all of a sudden be able to tell very hard texts well, because they were using art with their recall. There are those that, when it came to the section about using visual imagery for visual theology, that they absolutely freaked and panicked. They didn't like it. And what I would tell them, this is not about you creating perfection or a masterpiece. This is about you using a symbol or a design or a stick figure to help you for your story recall. So give yourself permission to fail even in your art as you're practicing to tell your story. It is so important that we use the visual arts to help those engage the Word of God. Shalom, y'all.